The hot spring market took one step back this week after taking 3 giant leaps forward last week. I'm Tony with Clarkson Santoro, and this is our real estate update for the week of Friday, February 23rd. We know that selling or buying a home can be very stressful and confusing. That's why we do these weekly videos, so that you can know how the market is affecting you as a homeowner who's thinking about selling or someone who is looking for a house that you would love to call home. Let's take a look at how the market performed this past week. There are now 9 active homes on the market, which is about double the number from last week, which was 5. The average asking price of those homes was $2,121,000, up slightly from last week's $2,086,000. 3 homes went pending this week, much less than last week's 11, with an average asking price of $1,578,000. That price is down a little bit from last week's $1,658,000. And 6 homes sold this week, which was double what closed last week. The average closing price was $1,852,000, which is up from last week's $1,765,000. So now that we know and have looked at how the market performed this past week, we can look at the broader trends that provide insights into its overall health and the potential future direction. Before we do that, if you find this information helpful, you can subscribe so you don't miss out on future updates. And why not share it with a friend as well? Everyone deserves to be in the know about their local market. Okay, let's take a look at those broader indicators, shall we? Starting with inventory. It rebounded from the extreme low of last week and almost doubled. That still only brings us to about half of the average inventory level that we saw last year, which was also historically low. All that to say, our inventory, to sound like a broken record, is still very low. Because the inventory did double, our turnover rate dropped this week. It is still very high, sitting at 2.5 times or about 2.5 times the normal turnover rate, but it has cooled off a little. I think it is still safe to assume that if you are going on the market now and prepare your house to show well, you can expect to receive multiple offers. The over-under price kind of supports that as well. It remained high this week, still sitting around above 4%, above asking. With the recent inventory and turnover activity that we have seen in the past few weeks, I think this number will stay in the 4% plus range for some time now. Pending sales continue to report multiple offers. The average sales price of closing homes didn't change much this week. The average price is still well over $1.9 million. Oops, which is right there. The average did come down just slightly, but with the average asking and pending prices creeping up, now I think we'll see the average sales price number continue to increase as well. The Triple Q had another relatively flat week, only improving about 2%, but it is still continued growth in that fund, even if it is slowing down slightly. The strength of the Silicon Valley tech industry holding firm or increasing will always translate to higher consumer confidence in buyers looking for a home here in San Ramon. And the interest rates continued to tick back up this week. They are now at 6.9%. Again, a 6.9% again, a 23% basis point increase from last week. Even with the minor increase in interest rates, they are starting to have less impact on buyers, as it seems like people are just starting to settle in with this being the new norm for the time being. The thing that interest rates are really limiting still is new inventory, as homeowners continue to decide that staying with their 3% mortgage in a smaller home is better than selling and upgrading their home, since that would also mean upgrading their mortgage as well. The main trend for this week is that the market took a step back from the craziness of last week. But it was maybe one step back after 3 to 5 steps forward last week. We are still in the market that is poised for a hot spring, and sellers are going to continue to hold a strong position unless interest rates really skyrocket. The strength of the intangibles here in San Ramon, like safety, schools, parks, and the proximity to the South Bay, will continue to hold home values up. Especially with the lack of inventory, the basic rule of supply and demand will likely keep pushing home values higher well into the summer. And for the buyers out there, I still think that despite the high interest rates, now is a better time to buy than waiting for those rates to drop. Thank you for joining me for our weekly update. We hope this information helps you understand how our market is impacting your options. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you can stay informed on how the market is shaping up this year and how it's affecting your options. And if you have any questions about how you can navigate the stressful and confusing process of selling or buying a home, leave a comment down below or reach out to us directly. We're here to help guide you every step of the way. Have a safe weekend, and we'll see you next week with a new update.